Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today we are talking about the events of April 23rd, the day that Warships died for most of that day. But it wasn't only Warships, it was tanks and warplanes too, because something happened in the North American data center that hosts Warships, tanks, and warplanes. Which it takes a lot for a data center to have problems of this magnitude. Because if you don't know, a data center has built in redundancies. Sometimes, if it's a really big data center, triple redundancies to prevent exactly what happened here. Now, we're going to be talking about what we know happened, or what's claimed to have happened, and we're going to talk about the response from the community. We'll talk about, what could have gone wrong and things like that. A lot of it's speculation because we don't know the full story. I've tried to dig to see what happened, but I can't find much information. But we're going to go through what we were told and what we experienced. So anyway, April 23rd, around 1 o'clock in the morning. If you were playing World of Warships, suddenly you got kicked off because the servers went down. And for a while, people didn't really know what was going on. Me personally, I was asleep. I mean, servers go down for maintenance, they glitch out, things happen, they need a restart. But this was a little bit more than that. Time went on and on and on, and we got a tweet around 1 o'clock, well, actually around 2 o'clock in the morning, well, depending upon your time zone, from the World of Warships Twitter. And then it said, we are currently experiencing a power outage for our North American cluster, which has taken all services offline. We are working on resolving the issue and hope to have service restored as soon as possible. So, 2 o'clock in the morning, probably not a whole lot of people on. I've played that late a couple of times, and that's when you get those 10 or 8 ship matches that they're just, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing up 2 o'clock in the morning in April? But anyway, so that happened. But then the sun came up and the servers were still not awake. And then we got our next tweet at 9:15 in the morning, which stated, at this time, the NA portal and servers are still down due to technical issues in the data center. We are currently working on a fix. In several hours, most players will be able to join the game, while other in-game web services will take additional time. Full restore time estimated to be 1 day. Okay, so 9 o'clock in the morning, we're being told you're not going to be able to get on for most of the day, at least it seems like. And that was the last update we got until the servers came back on. We did get a pretty funny tweet, which is pretty ironic. And they said, as we are working on a fix to get all players back up on the North American server, now is a great time to try the upcoming game features on the public test server, which is still up and running. You can find instructions on how to play on the public test server here, which is freaking hilarious because they've said several times before that not a lot of players actually play on the PT server, which is why a lot of times they don't get all the information that they need to do certain changes to certain ships and features. So now it's like, yeah, your server ain't working, so come hop on our PT server and test for us, which is pretty funny. But anyway, finally, at 5 o'clock in the evening, we got a message saying that the servers were back up. Literally right before I was about to start live streaming, I was playing Tarkov because I thought that's what I was going to be live streaming that night. But anyway, commanders, our NA services are back online. We appreciate your patience and understanding while we are fixing the problem. We know you were disappointed and frustrated to discover that the NA World of Warships server was offline. All active players will receive the opportunity to claim 1 day of premium time to compensate for lost play time in the coming days. We will now begin to assess whether any other damages was done, and should any further compensation be necessary, we will communicate that in further messages. We sincerely appreciate your support and apologize for the inconvenience. Alright, so first off, what happened? So, we don't know exactly what happened, but from the tweets we can gather that there was some type of issue with the power, and the data center went down for an undetermined amount of time. So, the thing is, we don't know much about the North American data center. And I dug, and I dug, and I dug. all we really know is that it's located in Chicago, according to the wiki. And I went through several forum posts saying it's in Texas, it's in North Carolina, it's in California, but according to the wiki, it's in Chicago. Now, the wiki isn't the most up to date source of information from wargaming, you know, so, but we're gonna go with that. And it's on the World of Tanks wiki too. But World of Tanks was down too, along with World of Warships and World of Warplanes. So I think it's a safe bet to say that, yeah, it was the Chicago data center that went down for the game. Now, the power outage. If you know much about data centers, you know that they normally have two backups. They normally have a battery backup and some type of generator, diesel or natural gas or whatever. So the thing is, you don't have to lose power for a long time to screw up a data center. It can just flicker off and then that's it. That's why you aren't supposed to rip out your USB drives, randomly unplug your computer, leave your computer plugged in a storm or anytime that there could be a potential loss of power, because that screws with technology when it's in the middle of doing something. And that can corrupt the data. So needless to say, a data center hosting thousands of World of Warships players, tens of thousands of World of Tanks players, and dozens of World of Warplanes players' information, let alone running the game on their servers, them even losing power for a second is terrible. And they do have backup generators, which, I mean, backup generators are pretty hardy, especially if they're diesel generators. They do have battery backups too. The way that they normally work is that when power is lost, the battery backups just kick in. And then the battery backups are normally enough to run the servers for the minute or two that it takes for the diesel generators to kick in and then take over powering the data center. And normally these data centers have weeks worth of fuel already on site, and they get fuel delivered to them if power is out for an extended period of time. But however, if something goes wrong along that chain of redundancy, then you're kind of screwed. For example, batteries don't last that long powering whole data centers. Whole data centers by themselves normally consume the power of a small city every single day. So imagine trying to run a small city on just batteries. Yeah, that's not going to work. You're going to have maybe a minute or two of power, or maybe even a couple of seconds, depending upon, again, how many batteries do they have, what's their capacity, this, that, and the other. But the batteries aren't meant to run the servers for very long, just enough until the diesel generators or natural gas generators can kick in. So something went wrong with the batteries, or something went wrong with the trigger that triggers the generators to kick on, and the servers went down for just a second or two. That's enough to screw up the whole servers. So, needless to say, when that happens and the servers lose power, it's not just like turning your computer back on. If you have a console like a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, or even a PlayStation 5 if you're really lucky, or whatever the new Xbox is called, the One X or whatever, you know that when you lose power suddenly, they come back in kind of a safe mode where they have to check themselves and try to recover any data that could have been lost or corrupted when they lost power. Imagine doing that on a whole server that's meant to, again, be hosting thousands of players' information and the game and such. You can't just turn it back on. So that's why we got the estimated time of a day, because they had to check and see what happened, what went wrong, and try to recover any potentially lost data or see what got corrupted, if anything got corrupted or not. It's not like turning a laptop back on after your laptop runs out of battery, So that's what took so long for the game to come back online. And I honestly thought they weren't going to get it back online that day. And what's really interesting too is that World of Tanks Twitter, they straight up came out and said that the game wasn't going to be back online until 4 a.m. the next day. And what really sucked too is that World of Tanks was in the middle of transferring servers over. So there's normally 2 servers for World of Tanks apparently, and they were transferring one or the other to a new server. and that happened. So yeah, that really sucked for World of Tanks players. But yeah, so that's what we think happened. And if that's true, then it's not really Wargaming's fault. Which is quite ironic because if you go read the comments on Twitter, oh my god, people just have no pity or no mercy for Wargaming. Like, good sweet god. Now, keep this in mind too. Wargaming is a pretty profitable company, but I doubt, I seriously doubt they own a data center. Data centers are insanely expensive to upkeep, and normally they operate as their own company, and companies rent out server space in their data center to run whatever it is that they're running, be it, just a data storage site, be it games like Wargaming does, or whatever. So this very likely wasn't even Wargaming's fault. This happened at 2 o'clock in the morning. Probably barely any employees were even at this data center, and even that, after the morning hours came back, you gotta admit they got the servers back up pretty fast. So whoever's responsible for that part, be it Wargaming, be it the employees at the data center, they did a fantastic job at getting the servers back up. And what's really funny too, it's people were commenting like this is like Wargaming's like grand scheme or whatever. Like I don't get it. They want the servers to be up. They want you to be playing their game. They want you to be spending money on their game. They're not doing any of that when a whole continent can't get on and play. So, yeah, that was pretty funny. And, of course, too, this did happen at a really bad time because this is when the Leroy Jenkins missions were supposed to be available, and they were doing the USS Kidd event as well on this Friday because it was the anniversary of her launch day. So I doubt that's what they wanted to happen. But either way, people were just in serious need of a chill pill. And it was kind of weird too. I'm not gonna lie, because I do this as my primary game, and I play Warships for YouTube and review things on YouTube and cover what's going on in the game for YouTube. So this day I was kind of just like, well, what do I do now? What do I play now? Like, it was pretty weird. And yeah, that's when I downloaded Tarkov and tried to get a handle on that game, because I was going to wind up streaming that for the Friday night live stream, but thankfully the servers came back on in time. I say thankfully because boy am I terrible at Tarkov. God, but again, we'll see how that goes. But yes, that is the day that World of Warships was dead, and World of Tanks and World of Warplanes. A whole day almost of no wargaming games in North America, and quite the day it was. What's also really funny too is that some people, and I could tell some were joking, but some comments, they were demanding a lot of compensation for not being able to play for like 12 hours, not even 12 hours, like 10 hours. I mean, like 5,000 doubloons, a week worth of premium time, this, that, and the other. I'm like, well, you're not losing anything because the servers literally aren't running right now. So I don't think your premium time is going to get burned. And they even got it up the same day, which again is very impressive. And then they went ahead and gave everyone a day's worth of premium time too, which I think is pretty fair compensation for losing 10 hours of gameplay. You get another day of premium time on top of whatever else you have. And there were other issues too. I saw people that were in the middle of grinding out, let's say, the booster for the research bureau. They sent in a ticket. Wargaming got back to him real quick and returned the booster to them because they lost it because they were in the middle of playing when that happened. Sometimes, guys, you just need to take a step back, look at the bigger picture, and just think about it before you jump to the wargaming mindset. And I'm not a CC or anything. I'm not defending them or anything like that. I'm just saying, not everything is their fault. They make plenty of mistakes, and those of you that watch this channel long enough know that I do very much cover those mistakes when they get made. But anyway, I just wanted to go over that and cover all of what happened if you didn't know exactly what happened and what was going on throughout the day. Pretty interesting event. I don't think that's happened before, at least not in the past 4 years that I've been playing the game, where the game just wasn't available for almost a full day because of something like this. But anyway, guys, Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're right now to 25,000 subs, just past 24,200 a few days ago. Cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.